Warmer subtropical winds are back in the forecast. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. We had a frosty weekend around parts of the South Island. Those inland areas were pretty cold, but coastal areas are pretty normal for this time of the year. Now we're seeing a completely different airflow coming through out of the subtropics. Same big high, different airflow. So as the high moves further off the country, as you can see on the animated map, this is the high pressure system with the light winds. Now we're getting that subtropical nor'wester coming down across both islands, but especially the South Island as we go through Monday. In the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing this airflow sticking around. So we've got a bit of rain on the way. This is the next 7 days worth of rain. So right through till Monday of next week. And as you can see, most of the country is getting some wet weather, even some parts around Auckland, which have been a little bit drier than other regions lately. You still might get about 30 millimetres over the next week ahead. And the areas in pink, you're around that sort of 70, 80 to 100 millimetre mark. There's a weird low pressure system that you'll see in the maps in a moment. So these rainfall totals might move around a little bit. It's a bit of a messy setup this week, but as you can see, it seems fairly even over the next several days. The driest part of New Zealand with around 10 to 20 millimetres is that southeastern portion of the South Island. So Tuesday itself, there is the high out to the east, the subtropical flow coming down over the North Island, and the South Island's got a different airflow, but it's coming out of Aussie as a nor'wester, so it's not going to be cold, just may not be quite as mild maybe in some areas as we're seeing on Monday. But either way, mild weather coming down across both islands. So as we get into Wednesday, look at this, the departure from normal, Tuesday, my apologies. This area here, over 8 degrees above normal. So that's the subtropical airflow coming through on Tuesday, lifting up places, turning more northwest in the South Island as we go through the morning, and that subtropical portion will be a bit more further to the north. But those nor'westers will lift temperatures up. It's not going to be extremely hot, but it's just the fact that for this time of the year, the South Island's well above normal, and that's quite a big change considering the frost we just saw at the weekend. So to Wednesday, now we've got that subtropical flow still over the North Island. The South Island's got mild westerly winds pushing temperatures above normal, but rain will turn to snow later as this sou'wester comes through with another temperature drop. So this is the 3-day snowfall accumulation. Once again, the mountain tops potentially getting a metre of snow at the very tops, and lower down, in the blue areas there, you're just seeing a few centimetres, up to 4 or 5. So the mountain tops will get another dusting over the next 3 days ahead. Now, as we head in towards later into the week on Thursday, high pressure is building out to the west. We've got wet weather sticking around the North Island, so that's why the rainfall totals are lifting up. It's around about this Thursday as that cooler change spreads further north. And by the time we get to Friday, we've got some weak areas of low pressure. This is very weak, barely low pressure. The next high coming in, 1036, these are giant, strong, powerful highs. So that will limit how much rain actually really does fall with that system. And our final map for Saturday shows this weak low pressure system stuck around the North Island. So that's why I'm saying don't lock in those 7-day rainfall totals just yet, but to make sense of it, just go to ruralweather.co.nz or take a look at the hourly rainfall totals that we've got and the daily totals we've got at Weather Watch to try and make sense of what we think we're going to get. IBM supercomputer Watson, it crunches hundreds of models. This is just one model we're showing you here. Crunches hundreds of models to make sense of it on a local basis for you. So if you're ever confused when I'm talking about some areas of rain and I'm sounding like a politician, I'm not really answering the question, then go to our website or go to ruralweather.co.nz and you'll get the answers there. It fine-tunes all of this information for you. So you get the big picture here. We've got some wet weather lingering into the weekend, but look at this high, 1041. I mean, I think we'll be getting some record-breaking air pressure readings potentially as we go through the next week or two, because we are really seeing some big highs. Normally we get these highs at the end of winter going into spring. I'm not 100% sure why we're getting them. You'd have to ask people like Niwa. They're more into the daily weather now rather than the climate trends, but I hope that they can answer why we're getting just so many of these very powerful highs at the moment. That's all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest.